All right, good morning. It is Tuesday. No, Thursday. Wednesday, Thursday. What day is it? It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, the 11th. Got 3 minutes till market opens here. Let's see, make sure we're sort of set up. I think we're good. All right, let's take a quick look, see where we're at. We're going to trade the opening range. I trade the 3-minute break, and so got a minute or two here. Now this is interesting from yesterday. Let's go back and look at yesterday real fast. All right, so this is yesterday. So yesterday we were in here, and this was a gap on the daily chart that I had identified and said we would probably get resistance there. If we broke through, that would be very bullish. We got resistance, and it ended up coming back down and never broke through. It spent a lot of time up there, never broke through. And then this morning we had news. We had NFP at 8:30. We got a strong push up. Now we're right back in that area, but we pushed into it with a little bit of momentum. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how this plays out here at open. See if we break out of this and maybe reach up towards some highs up here. Where else? Need to add some more days here. Let's see. Oh yeah, you can see this. So I'm gonna drop a line here just so I can just be aware of it. I'm gonna put one there. And I'm going to put one here just at these peaks on the 15-minute chart. Above that, we got big gaps going on all the way up until, let's see, I'm going to put another line here. Again, these aren't lines that, I'll use them more as targets. If it starts to reach up here, we start to get some reaction there, then that'd be a good place to get out if we're in something. See how that overlays with everything else going on. All right. We break through that, I mean, there's nothing really here nothing really holding us back till up to this 26,000 level. So it could be an interesting day. We'll see what it brings here. We got about 30 seconds until the open. I'm set up here. We got trade copier going. We got ATM strategy set. So let's jump over to the 3-minute chart. All right. See, this news candle pushed us up. Little bull flag, push up. Got kind of a long pullback here. And it's like it's trying to go up, and now we're getting a little bit of a retracement. So see how this first 3-minute candle forms and go from there. Actually, give me a second. I'm gonna go get something to drink. I'll be right back. All right, all loaded up, some liquid nourishment. Okay, we pushed outside of that box, which is essentially the high, this daily high over here. So we'll see what happens. 65-point range so far, which is pretty good. We're increasing our risk today to 4 contracts for micros. We'll see if the opening range ends up being too big. I'll cut it back. I don't really want to risk more than 50 points on 4 micros. That'd be 200 bucks. So if we end up with a bigger range than that, I'll dial back the contracts just a little bit. All about managing risk. You got to manage risk. One minute chart. And a very, very strong 1 minute candle there. What's interesting is this 1 minute candle came down, took out kind of this consolidation level here, tested down into this initial gap after the last little push up, and then pushed up. So see if that was a fake out at the open to bring us back down, or if it holds. Certainly if we test above that level and come back down. All right, well, it is the moment of truth. Let's OCO order it up. Range is, half the range is 33, so that's sufficient for my risk tolerance there. Expand this a little bit, try and get oh, there we go, we're in. Riding the bull, riding the bull. Okay, we're gonna move to 100% here. It's kind of interesting. That's down into this consolidation level, so I don't know. Yeah, yesterday's overnight open right here. We might get stopped out right away. Yeah, you gotta leave it at 50. Can't. Well, there's more than that. 272. Didn't I say it was 30 points would be 60. 60 times 4, yeah, it's 240. Yeah, okay. For some reason I was thinking 50 points is 200 on 2 contracts. That's what we're thinking. All right, well, hopefully it goes in my direction. 272 loss. I mean, that's not career ending by any means. If we get 500 bucks, that'd be great. Okay, there's our push. This is where we could run into trouble. This gap here, last time we were down in here, we tested down and ripped right back up, so that's could be problematic. We'll see. We'll move to break even at the 75% level. Well, all right, we're just gonna keep moving down. Let's go. Let's go. Give me another successful opening break. Come on. All right, we touched that overnight open level. Come on, push through it. Push through it. Let me move my stop, please. I mean, if we get a lot of resistance here, I would honestly be tempted to take profits early. Only because my profit target requires us to push through a gap into further resistance. I mean, it could get there. It could take a while, so it's kind of like, do you want to sit through it and risk losing in order to maybe get that? Okay, we're definitely getting some resistance there. Let it play out, let it play out, let it play out. It's very easy to see it get up into profit and then back into the negative and want to get out. The reality is, if you play the probabilities over time, getting stopped out for a small loss or a small win on a trade that otherwise would have worked if you had left your stop loss in in the place your strategy told you to leave it, that's hugely more, has a huge negative impact on your overall profitability relative to taking a full loss. Can run the numbers and all right, I'll move to break even. So you're just getting a lot of resistance down here. I don't know, I might just take it. Yeah, man, push down for me. There we go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Push, push, push. A little more, a little more. There we go, come on. A little bit more, a little bit more. Deep breaths, let it do its thing. Come on, come on, a little bit more. Get that 100% level, you know you want it. It's the low of that candle, I don't know. There we go. Push it, push it, push it. Push it, push it, push it. Come on, just a little more. Come on, get that 100%, get that 100%. Watching the 1 minute chart over here, we're right at the red line on the 1 minute chart, which makes me a little nervous. So I'm gonna take this thing early because, no, come on. There we go. I took it a little early. Maybe I chickened out, but we're right at the red line. I mean, at this point, the risk of it ripping back and me losing, you know, I was up, you know, 400 bucks. The risk of losing that 400 bucks was not worth the potential benefit of making an additional 12 points. What's that? $24 times 4, an extra 100 bucks. Even though it's probably going to come down here and touch it, so you know, guess you can hate on me for that one. That's okay. So over here on the 1 minute chart, this would be a long, which is why I kind of wanted to get out of it. I mean, it's not like a pretty long, but it is a long potential. So we're down here, we had a high, we pulled down to the red line. All right, we're gonna push down, see if it gets down there. Was I smart or was I too jumpy? Remember, my stop was back up here at the bottom of this open range. My stop's about to get hit if I stayed in that thing. Stop's about to get hit. Oh. Oh my gosh. I'm glad I got out of this, just because sitting through this pullback, even if it comes down, would have been Just not my, not great. Anyway, that will probably be my one trade for the day. And that's 2 days in a row that the open range trade has worked. I mean, I guess technically it hasn't hit the target yet, so we'll see. But let's see, up about 400 bucks in those 6 accounts. Although I have to admit, I'm fighting the urge to just continue to trade them and try and get them back up to their profit targets. I think it's probably usually what I do that ends up losing me money though, so probably should not do that. See, now you're at the gold line on the 3-minute chart. So now you have a nice reversal candle. We had a kind of a reach lower. We had a bullish candle close. So if we were to break this, if you're looking at a reaction off the gold line, that would be a reaction. I mean, big stop, but 57-point stop. But another reason why I would be very uncomfortable sitting through this, because of that. Now, if it doesn't break above that candle, it doesn't matter, right? You never would have got ticked into the long. So I guess the other rationale would be follow your stop behind that candle, because if you stopped out there, that would be an entry long. So that would be a good point to get out. If it never stops you out, then you're good to go. See, now I'm really hoping it goes up, because that would prove that that I was smart. We always like to feel good about ourselves. Feel like we outsmarted the market, which of course we did not. This is day 2 of trading every day from 9:30 until 11, live streaming until I get a payout on 20 accounts. Right now we're trading 6 PA accounts through Apex. They're all doing good. We've got balances, what, 51.6, 51.8. Which gives me about $1,500 of drawdown in those accounts, since I am digging out of a hole there. And there we would have stopped out. So would have stopped out. Now, the other thing I'll watch here is, you know, if you'd have said, well, instead of trailing the stop, I'm just going to leave my stop here, because it could pull back, bounce off the bottom of this little range here and come back down. Given the higher time frame context, though, I wouldn't be overly confident in that outcome. In fact, I think there's probably a strong argument to me made for a probability of us breaking back into the range and just crossing over to the other side. So $65-point range. There we go, straight back up. Okay, so if I'd have left the stop right there at the midpoint, I would have been stopped out for a loss. So trailing stops is a good plan. Lots of resistance up in this level up here. Let's look again at where this came from. Let's go back to the daily chart. So all I'm looking at is this gap. We had this gap here from the 3rd to the 4th. You can see we came back up into it on the 9th, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We've wicked up into here. So once we break above this, if we break above this, I think we definitely go higher. The question is, do we break above it? Or do we settle here and reject back down? I don't know. Just gotta wait and see what she does. I think, yeah, just a lot of indecision. So not much to do here, but to wait. Not much to do, but wait. Which is the most unexciting part of this whole process. And then I had this pull down on the 1 minute chart and we're just chopping back up again. There's no real motivation. We have no other news other than what happened at 8:30 this morning. Back here. There is the possibility that we come try and take out this low down here, this data low. So that's something to keep an eye on. We're also kind of, I don't know, is this kind of bear flag over here? It's an ugly one. Could be. The opening range on this chart, on the 1 minute chart here, is the 15-minute range. So if we broke down below here, we'd be breaking this little bit of a bear flag. It's kind of ugly bear flag. If it breaks through here, we could come down. We've got VWAP right there. We've got the overnight open right there. But I think it's, for me to be short here, it's really got to break down below that 15-minute open range. I really don't want to get chopped up. So sit back and watch. No other news. Got some oil inventories, it looks like. Some, I guess, less important or less, I don't know. Whoever Schmid, usually Schmidt, and Bowman. Schmidt and Bowman are speaking this morning. They're only yellow folder speakers. They must not have the authority to say anything too exciting. It's looking like it wants to try and come down there. I don't know, it's kind of working its way down, but every time it kind of comes down here, it gets bought back up a little bit, reaches down, gets bought back up a little bit, but it's going nowhere. Not much enthusiasm one way or the other. 28-point candles. Is it $50 a contract on a micro? We got the 9 and the 21 below the 45 here on the EMAs, but everything's above that 105 SMA. So no clear direction from that standpoint. We gotta have a break below here and a retest, in my opinion. Or we gotta have a break above here. Honestly, if it just broke above here with momentum, that could be a reason to get in. Right, because this is almost, I mean, this is very much a wedge. So if we broke up here with momentum, we could just rock it up. If we break down here, I would want a retest. Because remember, if we break down through this box we've got here, let's see, on the 3-minute chart. We break through this level here, we have this giant fair value gap. Okay, and if it reaches down in this fair value gap, it's likely it goes at least at some point to the 50% level. I'm going to mark that just very there we go. So that's a risk on shorts. As we break this, we could just come down here and bounce straight back up. But we have all this stuff below that could be a magnet, so it's very, very uncertain. Really need to get out of this area. One-minute chart. And the VWAP level is right down the same area as this previous resistance here. Or I guess support, this would be support. All right, so there's a test down. Tried, it got bought right back up again. Let's see what happens. Back to the 3-minute. Got lots of indecision on the higher time frames. 5-minute. Of course, the current bar is pretty red. There it goes. All right, so it finally broke out. Down to that 50% level of that gap. And holding VWAP currently. Hey, my can matches my little banner. It's very on brand. I mean, look at that wick. So just for fun, because we have nothing else going on. No, wait, we're looking at 50% of the gap. Where's that at? That's here to there. Yeah, that's about the right spot. All right, it did. The 1 minute did close below VWAP. We have 1.5 minutes left on the 5-minute chart, and it will have closed below VWAP. Oh, I take that back. It didn't. It closed right on VWAP. Exactly at VWAP. So you can see we broke the bottom of this wedge here. It's basically a bear flag. Broke down to the bottom. The nice thing about this candle here is the fact that we wicked up and then came down. So we went up, we tested this out, and then straight back down. First time that has really happened here. And now we're just breaking through. So back down to that 50% level. We got a nice clean pullback to the green line. I might consider a short right there if it sets up. Otherwise, just wait and see. Back to the 3 minute. Just snugging up to that midline. I need a drawing tool that will give me a box like that with a midline on the box. It seems like that would be, there's probably something out there that'll do that. All right, so that was a pretty bearish close on the 5 minute. That was a bearish close on the 15 minute. So now on the 1 minute, if we get a pull back up to this green line in a reaction, I would consider this. So I'm going to switch my ATM strategy. I'm going to switch to a 25 point target. I'm not overly optimistic on the chances of this doing it, but we'll wait and see. It may just keep falling through, in which case won't hurt my feelings. Save me the stress of sitting through another trade. So stressful. Back to the 3 minute, because I get bored looking at the same chart every time. Again, to recap our one good trade, we took a break out of the 3 minute range, took my profits early just past the 75% mark because we were getting some resistance down here, and I didn't want to get stopped out for break even, which is exactly what ended up happening, or what would have ended up happening had I not taken my profit. So I guess in that case it was the right decision. But you can see we came back, retested this, and then we did come down and hit this 100% level. So blew past it, in fact. All right, we're back up at this green line. Would have preferred for it to take a little more effort to get up there. Kind of moved up quickly. In order for me to get in on this, I would need to see a wick up. It doesn't have to come up past here, but I would need to see a little test higher and then down. So I'll probably miss out on it. I mean, that's my problem, is that's a 40-point candle, which is too much for me. Just is. If I, again, it's because I'm in profit. I don't want to risk giving back all my profits on that. There it goes. I would have got my 25 points, I'll bet. Yep. You snooze, you lose. I think what made this nice was this pullback here. Really, this candle, these three candle pullbacks here happened after, well, this one and this one, right? So the one at 10:01 and the one at 10:02 happened after the close of the 5 and 15 minutes. So you got a strong bear candle, right? So if we go over to the 5 and 15 minute, you got a strong bearish close here, and then it wicked back up and pulled back down, right? So because that wick back up happened, or the other way around, I guess, the touch of this green line happened at the opening of that candle, that's usually a pretty good sign, right? You don't want to see it. You just, a lot of times if it continues straight down, it's going to continue down then come up. You'd rather see it go up and then come down. And that's what it did. I'm gonna get rid of this line because, you know, but look at this. Look how this 50% line, we sat on it. This, again, this is 50% of this gap on the 3-minute chart. It might have been the same gap on the 5-minute chart, actually. Should we draw that? Let me draw that on the 5-minute chart just for fun. No, that won't work here. Never mind, I'd have to switch the time frame. My 5 and 15-minute charts are on NQ, not MNQ, so the lines won't transfer over. At any rate, we sat on it, we came back up, blew through it, came back up, retested it, and then down. So those areas do matter. I mean, if you're being really OCD about it, that's the 50% on that gap, which is where we're getting some resistance here. So I don't know. The challenge with all of that is that you can overcomplicate it to the point where, you know, there's always a reason for price to react. There's always a reason for it to not go any further. There's always a reason for something to happen. So you have to be able to kind of prioritize and say, decide which ones are most important. Otherwise you'll never get anywhere. Okay, that gap doesn't matter anymore. This gap really doesn't matter anymore. We're inside of this is a little bit of a reversal candle on 3-minute chart, so we'll watch it. I mean, it's highly likely we come down to the bottom of these because these are data lows down here. We took out this high. I think it's likely that we come down to these data lows. We've bull flag or bear flagged here. We're kind of building out a bear flag here. Don't underestimate the overnight open is there. It's been pretty worn out though. Prices sat there for a while, including just prior to market open, so hopefully it doesn't give us too much of a hassle. Straight back down. Well, not straight back down. Very slowly back down. Okay, there's the overnight open. See if we push through to these data lows. We take them out. Move my little line over here so we can see better. Squish it up. There we go. Way straight through. Picking up a little momentum there. I'm rooting for it. Not in a trade or anything, but watching this play out. Oh. And there it is. Look at that, touched it exactly. Oh, come on, you're not just gonna stop there, are you? That would be cruel and unusual. The low over here, 52 or 25. Let's see, 225.50. Yeah, there we go. Oh, 224.75. Okay, we pushed through it. It's funny though, it stopped at that exact spot at first and hesitated before it pushed through. Interesting. All right, now we're down to a VWAP standard deviation there, bouncing off the data lows. I don't know, is this just a meltdown day? This could just be a meltdown day. Let's look at the daily chart just for fun. See what we got over here. Let's see, so daily chart, green day, red day, wake up, and now we're coming back down again. I don't know. See, this push lower didn't take out the lows here on the daily chart. So we had a low here, we took out the low with this candle, and then we tried the other day but didn't quite get down there. Pushed up and now we're just stuck right here. I don't know, this could be a day we just roll over. There we go. All the way through. I mean, imagine if you'd been up here thinking, okay, if we take out this high, we got like this double top up here. And saying, all right, I'm going to short this up here. Somebody surely did. Think they held it all the way down here for, 300 points. That would be a good day for somebody. All right, we're picking up steam now. It's giving it up. We are fastly approaching that daily low down here. Boy, we should have got in at this bear flag up here that I was feeling all skittish about. Should have had more confidence in those data lows. They paid for sure. That's awesome. That's a 43.1 minute candle. Of course, every other time frame is very red. There it goes. There's your daily low coming up. I mean, I guess in retrospect, we also, after we broke out of this 15-minute range on the 1-minute chart, we pulled right back up to it, retested it, and that's where we dropped. It's also, if you're keeping track of your moving averages, that's where the 3 slower moving averages crossed over this, or the 3 faster moving averages, excuse me, crossed over the slower moving average, and we dropped. Definitely something to sort of take note of. Of course, there's no real clean cross over here because price was just sort of consolidating before the news, but certainly on the way down, this is pretty clear. Right after this, after you get this bearish candle, everything's crossed over, we get a little bit of hesitation, and then bottom falls out. All right, bounced off there, bounced off that daily low, headed right back up. Getting big wicks. All right, your 5-minute candle closed, 15-minute candle closed. Obviously bearish with wicks at the bottom. Bigger wick on the bottom of the 5-minute chart compared to the 15-minute chart. What was this line? Oh, this is my data low. Should put like, does it let you put, it doesn't let you put like text on it to say, hey, this is what this line means. Stretch it out by an hour. Charting on NinjaTrader is not super sophisticated. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get back up to our green line here. But getting in here is risky. Getting in here is risky. Shorts are risky. Longs are risky. Need some kind of a better pullback. If we got a nice pullback up here, preferably into like the 21 EMA, that would be best. Then I'd probably look at a short. Or is this a 10 o'clock reversal? Are we gonna rock it down here and it's gonna go straight back up? Could happen. To wait and see. Turn off my OCO order so they don't mess me up later. Areas like this always frustrate me a little bit because I've lost so much money trying to buy the low or sell the low here. Right? Because I'll look at this and say, okay, we got to break lower. Inevitably, whenever I sell that low, it's gonna be the point it turns around. If I don't, then it's gonna, it's gonna drop. I'm pretty sure the market makers know what I'm doing. They know when I put in an order and they go grab my stop. Everybody's out to get me. But that's what makes these areas so tough is, you know, you don't know. It could continue down, it could chop sideways and then go down, it could pull back. I mean, we have some strong downward pressure here, so if you're short, you do have that in your favor, without a doubt. Time will tell. Got a little bit of the sniffles this morning. I think it's because it got warmer. It's supposed to be... It's been freezing us out the last week or two, and now it's finally been nicer. I think we got up to... We got up to just about 40 degrees yesterday, I think, and it's supposed to be about the same today. Man... Mid-50s next week. $62 on Wednesday. Whew. Man, we're gonna cook. All the snow's gonna melt and it's gonna be really messy. Actually, they're gonna be warming up before then. The snow might be gone by the time it gets that warm. What are we doing? What are we doing, NQ? Do we stop? What's going on? Let my timer stop. Help! My charts are froze. Actually, they're literally frozen. Am I still streaming? Everything else seems to be working. Well, that's weird. Alright, data died. What's going on? I think I'm still connected to the internet. It looks like I'm still streaming. So internet connection should be there. Oh yeah, internet connection's there. Ooh, look at that. Speedy internet. Oh, please tell me that Tradeovate isn't having issues again. Try disconnect, reconnect. What kind of an error is this? Order price is outside bands of bid. Violates high band using delta. Wow. I didn't have an order in. That's weird. I think we might have an issue, guys. Houston, we have a problem. We're gonna kill the trade copier. Hey, it says I have an order working. I have an order working. Let's try a different connection. This is different. This is not my Apex connection though, so something's going on with Apex. Something's going on with Apex. It's probably not Apex, it's probably Tradeovate. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a meltdown here. Down we go. All right, well, since I'm having data issues and I can't really, I don't know, let's see. Should try and reconnect, see if it blows stuff up. Reconnected pretty fast. Let's reset up a copier, see if that works. Gotta love technical issues. All right. Leader counts. MNQ. All right, I'm gonna place just a sample order here just to see if. All right, yeah, orders are in for everybody. Okay, all right. Well, I don't know what that was about, but I guess we're back. Trying not to have the mic in the picture. There we go. All right, well, down we go. Has not been a decent pullback here at all. 5-minute chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red candles in a row. 1, 2, 3. We're working on the fourth 15-minute candle. Red 15-minute candle in a row. No pullback anywhere on the 3-minute chart. Seem to be losing a little bit of steam down here. So let's see. And turn up the music just a little bit. Let me know if you think that's obnoxious. All right, we're kind of settling down here. That's sort of 4 indecision candles in a row on the 1-minute chart. Now we're getting a little bit of a pullback. So we'll see if we can get back up into that 21 EMA. If we can, maybe I'll try a short scalp. So we can get over my $500 for the day. Only need $100 more. Should be pretty easy. It's famous last words. Should be pretty easy. Thing is, it's never easier or harder as long as you're following your rules. It just is what it is. All right, that was a strong little push up. If we were to get like a V-shaped recovery off of here straight back up, that would just be that would just be cruel and unusual. I mean, do we take the green line here? On this very, very strong downtrend. Guess I should look at some targets down. There's probably some down there. It's a 45-point candle. Don't know. Two maybe? Let's go 2 contracts. We're gonna... I'm honestly not expecting this thing to come back down here. Wick down, pulled up. If I end up losing on this and giving back some of my money, I'm gonna be slightly annoyed. That's also why it's only 2 contracts here. Alright, with that candle, I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna sit here for a second. Maybe we do get that pull up back to the 21. Getting a little bit of a wick fill on the 5-minute chart. Which is right up to there. That wick is fully filled. Yeah, this is much better. It takes it 2 or 3 minutes to kind of settle out up here and then come down. That would be super great. Yeah, see these inside wicks like this, long wick on the inside of this V, those oftentimes will get retested. You'll see this push up, close towards its low, and then straight back up there. All right, come on, 21. The blue line is a 21 EMA. Whatever that's worth. See, I also like this because now we're getting into over bot territory over here on the stochastic, which is just another little confirmation. It's a confluence. Entry. I'd like to see a little bit more of a push up into that moving average, but you may not get it. That's more what I want there. Push up and then pull back. Push up and then pull back. Or keep going. If you keep going, that's fine too, because that means I stay out of danger. That last candle was 32 points. Getting in at about the midpoint. Looks like this current candle is going to be about the same, about a 32-point candle. That's $60. That's $120-ish risk on 2 micros. Looking that push up though. Alright, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna take a bathroom break. I will be right back. What did we miss? Nothing. We're still going up. Your 10 o'clock reversal. I'm still following this for a little bit of a turn around here. Change it to contract. Nope, I missed it. Too slow. There it goes. Oh, that would have been it. That would have been it. I would have been out already. Oh my goodness. That's what I get for taking a bathroom break as it's approaching my entry point. Now 25. Yeah, that would have been 25 points, so. Missed it. Nothing you can do about that. Our way back up. Now we're bouncing off this green line on the way back up. I still think, no, it probably still comes down. I'd probably get back in up here. Except that it already kind of hit my target, so that means there we go. This is probably a dumb thing to do here. This resistance holds for us. And I'm giving back $100, man. Okay. Although, if we break down here, we continue lower. Yeah, we're gonna stop out. probably just get out of it. Count it lucky that it didn't stop me out. There it goes. That was dumb. That's what happens when I sit around and watch this. Is like I end up taking dumb trades. If I would have taken that first entry, I would have been out for my 25 points. I guess banking on the possibility of this holding up here, consolidating a little bit and rolling down. Clearly not wise. Although my position sizing was good, I limited my risk. So it is what it is. Now see, we're getting this giant, this is just kind of a giant bear flag right now. So if we push down through here, I might just jump in, see if it comes down further. We're up to our gold line. Going on here? Sell stop limit 2. I get my orders to work. Just have one here ready. Alright, we got our gold line. Is that enough? We're overbought at the gold line. We're still following this trend line up. That's it's maybe a little bit of a concern. We also had a cross of those of the green line and the blue line. But I would bet we get a pull down here. This ends up being a 1-to-1 if this wins. Five and 15-minute charts are 2 minutes away from wrapping up here. Test down into this gap and pulled straight back up again. Might be too early again. What does that give me? 110. I think if this loses, I will probably be done for the day because I don't want to give back everything I made for the day. Well, already I've given back a lot of it. Alright. Might let this go a little bit. See if we get a little bit of a drop. Comes out, comes back and stops me out for break even. Step here with my stop because they could wick this and pull back. Ay. This really isn't ideal because now I'm hoping that these break, right? Now I'm hoping that these EMAs break, which they've already crossed up. Yeah, I should have taken my profits at $100. I would have made back what I lost on the first one. It's highly unlikely to stop here and turn around like it did before. Stopped out again. Yeah, I should have taken this one, because what it did was we rejected off of here, we tested back into this gap, and it came down to this lower gap right here. Came down to this lower gap, right? Tested this gap and continued in the direction of the trend. And honestly, if you're trading the cross of these EMAs, you would have been buying down here, because we're pushing back into it and now back up. So I don't know though, we're getting resistance here. Once it drops through here, we're probably gonna just crater. I got stopped out twice. Do I risk one more? What do you think? We've only got 15 more minutes. 14 more minutes. Let's see. I'm gonna do it. Shouldn't do it, but I'm gonna do it. If I get chopped out 3 times in a row, well, I'll hang my head and go home with my tail between my legs. Alright, come on, give me a little bit. Pushing back down to those EMAs one more time. Where are we going? If we can break. Man, the stop should be up here, 127. Yeah, still okay. We get out with 30 bucks. What do we think? What do we think? I mean, look at this. It looks like it's starting to roll over on these. Problem is we haven't really got a break below on the 3-minute chart here. Alright, so here's the initial push of this 1-minute candle. See if we can get a push down. I mean, if it just settles here, I might just bail. Come on. Breakthrough for me, would you? Just a little more. Okay, a lot more. Five-minute chart. I mean, 5-minute chart and 15-minute chart are kind of looking good for a short here. Come on, wick down for me. One little wick down here. There we go. Well, I was hoping for a little more than that. I'm gonna sell out and then it's gonna drop all the way to the low of day. Watch. There we go. Let's see if we can push down into the 20s. take it here just because maybe. I'm gonna take it there just because I can't afford to have a wick back up from right here. Hope it keeps dropping, but I'm not overly confident in that possibility, so we'll take it. All right, we made back a little bit of what we lost. And there it goes back up. Probably comes back down again because again, we got the 5-minute candle open over here. Right? We had a bearish close, we had it open up, wick up, and then so it's probably going to keep coming down. And we're coming up on a cross of the MAs. And I could get back in where I got out. Chart. And popping back up. All right, I'm glad I got out again. Definitely a scalpy trade. I mean, if I'd have taken the scalp over here, we would have been happy. Well, I should not have got in that one. Where was the one that I remember? I mean, look, let me add the trades back on here so I can remember what we did. Okay. Here was the disaster area. All right, so had this. I didn't take the initial entry, so I got in late, and sure enough, got stopped out. All right, so late entry, punished. Here we got in, and it did come down. Almost 20 points. So probably should have taken 10 or 15 points there. Just called it good. Got stopped out. This one wasn't a horrible trade, honestly. Maybe not ideal, but that's one I would have taken again. This is one I would have taken the first time, and it would have won. This is one I would have taken again. And this one, yeah, this is one I would take again. The trick on these scalps is where do you take your profits at? And you have to balance the green in your account with where the market is likely to go. And at the end of the day, this choppy action here, like this, it doesn't give you a whole lot of shouldn't give you a whole lot of confidence that you're going to get a lot of follow through. If you're looking on the long side, we had a nice settle down into the MAs, and now we got a nice clean pop. Right? That's good. So this is much more bullish. Here we're right back up to those data lows again. I guess we can see what happens there. I'm going to take the entries back off the chart because I won't be able to see what I'm doing. Why? And straight back up. I mean, this was a nice bull flag. You're looking for that. Kind of created this higher high, had this nice pullback into the MAs, and boom. I was very short biased, and so I was not looking for long there. But that is what happened. Can't deny that. All right, 5 more minutes. 6 more minutes, 5, 6 more minutes. Definitely not 6, 7 more minutes. Yeah, look at that on the 3-minute chart. Oof. All right, back up to the overnight open, showing a little bit of resistance up there. The other confluence for this pullback was we also came back down into oversold territory down here. So something to note. At a high, pull back into the MAs, oversold, and pop. Now we're overbought, pushing higher. So we would need another little pullback before we got in long, I think. Actually coming right up to the red line over here. We're at VWAP, so we got VWAP, red line, overnight open, yesterday's close. All right, in this area. Problem is we just had a strong bullish close on a 5-minute candle. The thing is, we're right back to, we opened here, spent some time above it, spent some time below it, popped up higher, popped down lower, and now we're right back in the middle of that range. Yeah, just horrible. I mean, we took out yesterday's high and low, right? This was yesterday's high, poked above it barely. This was yesterday's low, came way down below it, and now we're back up. So I don't know. This could be that V-shaped recovery we were talking about. Pops down here and they're just grinding up the rest of the day or something like that. See, I really wouldn't be surprised to see a pullback from here down into the MAs, which makes me think about taking a short up here, but might be better to wait for a pullback and then a long. We'll see. All right, in the meantime, let's tally our winnings for the day. 303.60, since they're all at different levels. It's a problem with marketing into stuff. 318.60. 318. $18.69.60. Oh, not too shabby. All right, so here we have a pull down. We have a little bit of a reversal candle there. Didn't quite come into the EMA, but we're right at the overnight open. 17-point candle. I'm gonna wait and see if I get one more little pullback here at 11 o'clock. maybe that was that the pop, or is that a fake out? I'm telling you, it gets choppy at this overnight open level sometimes. I'm gonna get rid of this data low line here. I don't think it really means anything. We blew through it here, we blew through it there, so we're gonna lose it. I think it's just noise at this point. I mean, you can't tell me we get that strong push up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles basically in a row. So 5 minutes straight up. I highly doubt it just comes straight back down. So let this build out here so that we can look for long. I mean, ideally I would like to see us get down back to oversold territory down here. So if we get some kind of a reaction here confirmed as oversold, I think I'd be willing to give it another try. Just 2 micros though. I don't want to risk too much. Waiting for this pullback to build itself out here. Now we got a little stronger of a pullback. All right, back to the 21. Now we're in oversold territory at the 21, so let's see how this shapes up. Time is 11:03. We're just barely touching it. It'd be nice if it was a little more of a I mean, the other thing we have to consider is that we look at this, we pulled back to 50% of this kind of range here. No, on higher time framers, did we just come down, pull back to the 50-60% of this leg, and now we're looking for another leg lower? That's the risk. We are super oversold now. And we're at the gold line. The gold line, we do have a little bit of a fair value gap right here. Just the risk getting in at the break of this candle, because it could just wick up into here and continue down. Kind of like a breakup above that. Alright, that was the close of 5-minute candle. Bearish close. this. If I'm going to take a trade off of this level, be the spot to do it. It's a little bit noisy, but since we already wicked up there and are pulling back, if it comes down here and comes back up, I think we're good. That's kind of my thought process here. Otherwise, we got a 17-point candle, so the risk is pretty minimal. We're oversold. We're at the gold line. We're at the blue line. And there it goes. Okay, so it didn't come back up, so that's good. We didn't get ticked into it. I'm gonna hold my order there though. If we wick down and come back up, we're likely to push at least a little bit. Got some indecision going on. There's definitely a battle happening right now. Definitely a battle happening. We got on the 3-minute chart. Yeah. Okay, this looks like a bull flag building itself out here on the 3-minute chart as well. So the problem with this area is could be getting in too early, right? I mean, probably ideally a close, like, you know, having price push up above this level is where you'd want to be getting in, not just down here. So now I'm looking at this and saying, well, if it does break the top of this candle, it's likely to reach up into this gap, which is at least 10 points, right? So there's a logical case to be made that it moves up a little bit from that entry. This is not a trade that I'd be looking for, you know, a monster move off of, but they were trading back down into this sort of consolidation. Boy, it's just straight down. I mean, if it doesn't want to come back up, that's okay. I'd rather it goes down without me as opposed to ticking me in and then taking me with it. Still very oversold, except we've been oversold for 5 minutes now, which is not ideal because really we want to see a reaction, right? We want to see a bounce out of there, not, we don't want to get comfortable down there. As long as it goes down first and takes out that bottom, I'm gonna leave my order there. I would have waited to put it there if it had gone up first because... Okay, what? Okay, that was rude. Oh, now I got everybody in. Killing me, Smalls. $76, that's our risk there. Yeah, see, so $100 puts us right at that gap, so let's see if we have some energy to go up here. Of course, now that I'm looking at it, we got to cross these lines down. Boy, we were just like bad decision after bad decision this afternoon, aren't we? Yeah, that is not the reaction we want to see there for sure. See if it is feeling generous and wants to come back up a little bit for us. There we go. Okay, there's our $100 back. Yes. Ay. All right. That was sketchy. That was sketchy. But hopefully that logic made some kind of sense. Basically taking a bounce off of the EMAs, even though we closed below them, I don't follow them super strictly because we have, you know, we can look at levels. There's resistance down here, right? So we might have pushed a little bit below there, but we've been slowly grinding down after this strong push up. So slowly grinding down, strong push up. I don't want to take the first little wick up because that's usually a fake out. But if the candle comes down and takes out the bottom of the prior candle first, then I'm going to put my order there and just wait, which is what we did. We had a reasonable target, which was this gap up here that's was likely to be retested even if we were going to continue down, which it was here. Remains to be seen if we continue up or turn back around, but that was the logic for that trade. And I mean, ultimately we probably could stay in this on the chance that we just get a V-shaped recovery today, but that's not really my trading style. So those are the trades for today. So we finished up. Oh wait, we got to redo the thing here. Is there a way to add this up and trade? There's probably like a total button or something, isn't there? Hopefully the TradeAway. Will TradeAway do that? Will TradeAway give you like sum of all your accounts? I don't know how to do that, so we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. All right. Plus 418.52 plus 417.52 plus 403.52 plus 403.52 plus 417.52. All right, 2463, 12 on the day. We'll call that a good day. Now, ironically, I could have not traded at all after that first trade and I would have been at the exact same spot because that's what we made on the first trade. So that's how it goes sometimes, but we're happy for it. So, all right, that's day 2. Continuing to grind forward. We're at, what, 51.8, 51.6 in those accounts. $1,500 of drawdowns. We're in good shape. All right. Until tomorrow.